And we are back for the third and the final Total War Warhammer Tartazam Tournament Part 3. Or this is Tournament 2, Part 3. This is where it's getting spicy. All right.
Yeah.
This is where it's getting pretty crazy. We started all the way back here, then we moved on to here. We got some epic showdowns going on here. We had Trevor versus Sam. What a close one. On the first day, we had Ethan versus John. That was a crazy one. Now it's come full circle. Ethan versus John again. After Ethan lost to Johnny, it's Ethan versus John. Let's hear it, guys. Are you guys ready for this? The rematch of a
Oh,
century.
I'm so ready.
It's going to be John Slanesh, Norska Beastmen against Ethan's Dark Elves, Chaos Dwarves, and Khorne. Let's see if John's learned from his mistakes and Ethan's shifted his playstyle up. All right, are you guys ready to go?
Um, we never even picked. We gotta eliminate
Oh yeah,
things.
yeah, that's what I mean. Are we ready?
Looks like
I
it.
think so.
Let me get a handy dandy coin here. Let's see. All right, you guys ready?
Yep.
All right, heads or tails?
Heads.
Sounds
It
good to me.
is tails. John
Ooh.
starts.
Alright, let's right off the bat get rid of Chaos Dwarves.
Okay, no
Yeah.
chaos doors. Ethan,
Get rid of Beastmen.
no beastmen. John,
Alright. Uh, let's get rid of Corn.
no corn. Dark elves are going to be either going against Norska or John Slanesh.
I'll ban Slanesh.
Dang!
Alright.
All right, Norska versus Dark Elves to start. This was a match that we saw last time as well. I'm surprised we got it again. All right, let us go. All right, guys, good luck
Alright.
to both of you.
Alright, let's
Oh
do
yeah.
it.
Good luck, John.
Yep, good luck.
Wow, the tension was high there. This is too crazy for me. We're going to be playing on Crossroads. We're going to have Norska versus Dark Elves again. Now, we've seen this matchup before. It's going to be interesting to see how Ethan's going to shift up his playstyle because John has to be planning for what Ethan did last time. I mean, if he doesn't, then if Ethan picks the exact same units, John might just be screwed. So we'll see how this goes. We'll give them a second here to kind of pick their matchups or start picking some units. All right, and let's see how it's looking here. So Ethan is already prepared. He's bringing Rakarth, anti-large. He looks like, yeah, he's riding on a dragon. He's got Blackguard of Nagarond. Let's show the screen here. We got a Fire Sorceress, a couple units of Cold One Knight, Sisters of Slaughter, Blackguard Corsairs with handbows. These guys can actually put up a pretty good fight, even though they are a ranged unit. And a couple Spearmen leading the charge up front. John, on the other hand, is leading with Marauder Champions in front. Norska is on, or Wolfric is on his Mammoth. He's got, of course, John has shown to be a big fan of the Lore of Shadows. We have two Skin Wolves, an anti-large regenning unit that are fast moving and kind of act as Norska's cavalry. We got one unit of Marauder Hunters and two units of Spears. It looks like John hasn't decided yet what he's going to finish up with. Let's leave him alone. Make sure no stream sniping is happening here. Yeah, so this is going to be an interesting one. Wolfric on his Mammoth can be insanely good, and same with the Lore of Shadows, but Ethan's kind of coming prepared for that with his dragon, with Rakarth, who's an anti-large. He is the high beast master. So if he comes in there against Wolfric, I think that's going to be a surefire win for Ethan. Now, infantry-wise, it looks like John's got a bit of an advantage with those Marauder champions. Heavily armored, axe and shield. They also have this ability, Rage. All Norscan units have some sort of ability like this. The more they're fighting, the actual better they'll do in combat. So you don't want to sustain fight with Norska. All right, and it looks like John's actually finishing up his army. Let's go back to him really quick. 2 more units of spears. This is a good choice. He has to understand that Ethan's going to be bringing large. And we have a unit of Ice Wolves. Fast moving, and they also have the ability of Frostbite, where they can inflict a slow on an enemy unit. So let's see how this goes. They're both probably checking out each other's armies here. Let's see how this goes. When we were watching the first, or back in the first game, we saw Ethan perform terribly against Sam to start. I think talking to Ethan later, it seemed like his nerves got the best of him, and he made some mistakes that he really shouldn't have, and it almost cost him his first game. When he was coming at it later that night against John, he performed much better, but it was just after kind of getting all of that out of him and getting the stage fright out of him. So we'll see. While on the other hand, John has always been pretty consistent with his matches. He's always been fast, and he's always been pretty on point with his spells. Let's go over some of these units. Ice Wolves. Wow, are they bright for some reason. I think the game's a little glitched. Burned my eyes. So we got these guys. They have Frostbite. That's a 30% slow on any unit that they attack. We have some Skin Wolves. These guys used to be men, but they tore off their skin and became these wolves. So you can see some skin hanging off of them. We got over here, we got some Marauder Hunters. This is that ranged unit that Ethan's got, or John's got. Oh, wow, they've already started the match. Okay, let's see how these guys play. All right, so they are coming in at each other right now. Looks like John's going to get the charge right off the bat on Ethan, hoping to overwhelm him. Ethan's moving up with Rackhearth right now at the moment. Oh, a little bit of lag. Sorry about that. All right, let's see here. So it looks like Ethan's coming in the back line. Now John does have this unit of axe throwers right here. And he might be able, yeah, it looks like he's going to be shooting Rackhearth instantly with this. Moving some Skin Wolves around. Let's see, it looks like Ethan's shooting straight down into the unit. You really don't want to get, you don't really want to do that with Rackhearth. He needs a wide range. If you shoot it down like an enemy line like this, you can hit multiple units, while here, Ethan only hit the unit that was directly below him. It looks like Wolfert kind of came in. Oh, and it seems like he's casting a spell here. Yep, look at this. Oh, just horrendous amounts of damage to this unit. Already at a quarter, maybe a third HP, just from one cast. Ethan's got to be careful of Seafang. Wolfric has that ability to summon his ship to go straight down the enemy units. So let's see how this goes here. Early Marauder champions are engaging against the Spearmen. It seems like Ethan has begun to move up some of his cavalry. He's just got to watch out for the spear right here. I am learning that you can't hear me very well. I'll put my mic a bit closer here. Ethan's got to be really careful here. Look at this. Cavalry is just sitting out in the open. Spearmen and... Oh, now he's retreating. But he got hit by these Ice Wolves. These Ice Wolves are going to slow down the cav. And look at all of this coming in for Ethan. Oh my gosh, that's awful. That early into the battle. Looks like Ethan will lose that unit of cavalry. And look at over here, his unit of cavalry. Completely stationary against John's archers that are coming in. And we got a nice pit of shades going off on John's side. Ethan casts a fire spell. Is that going to be enough, though? He's got his archers shooting in. The Cav has been able to beat out these spearmen, but there's just too much over here. He's going to lose this cavalry unit. Let's go back over here. A nice breath attack does some pretty decent damage. His Cav right now on this flank is engaged with the spearmen. This is just not what they want to be doing. A better target would be some of these range units that have a hard time defending themselves over here. Seems like he's got the Black Guard of Nagaron moving up. Ethan is coming down over here to, looks like, target Wolfric early. He's got to watch out, though. There's a unit of Marauder Champions that's sitting directly behind. These Skin Wolves are trying to run off this unit of cavalry. Along with these wolves, these spears are just not going to be able to catch up. It looks like they're turning around to get back into the fight. Looks like Ethan's front line is kind of demolished here. He's lost most of it, and his units are just not engaged in the proper fights. Seems like now he's trying to get some value out of Rakarth. But again, he has units like this spearman right here, this one over here. They're just not in the battle right now. They're not getting the value he needs. Comes a Screaming Skull going right down here, but Ethan's actually going to hit his own units with that. Look how much damage it does. More damage to his own units than the enemy. And here comes down another Pit of Shades. Ethan's getting a full surround, or John's getting a full surround off on Rakarth. Well, I think this is going to be called for John. I mean, Ethan has completely forgotten about this cavalry unit. He's given up on it, basically. Without both of his anti-large cavalry, this game, it has to be called for John. I don't know how he really turns this around. Unless he's able to finish off Wolfric, it's going to be a win for John at this point. Over here, we do have a nice bit of a clash. If John was able to throw down maybe another Pit of Shades, he'd be able to take a lot of these infantry units out of the fight. John has also completely forgotten about these Marauder Champion units. He's got this unit that's coming in for a rear charge. And it seems like Rakarth's going to go down. There's just too much on him right now. This unit is about to be engaged over here, and we have the cavalry has been finished off. Patricia says, never back down, never what? The answer is never give up. Ooh, we're seeing another Sea Fang come through here. And Ethan miscasting again. What he wants to hit is this directly across right here. But instead it looks like he's targeting these spears, who do take a significant amount of damage. Two Skin Wolves left on the battlefield. Rakarth almost dead. Fire Sorcerer not really able to do much. And Wolfric sitting at a third HP. Ooh, and here comes another nasty Pit of Shades. It's going to finish off. This is going to be a game for John. Right off the bat. Nice job, John. You played it excellently. Nice job, Ethan. Good game to both of you guys. I think they'll kind of finish this up here. Just a little bit of finishing up here. John's got this one in the bag. There's not really much Ethan can do. The dragon is coming back, though. But with only one unit of... Yep, and here comes army losses. The army now is retreating. Good game, both of you guys.
Oh my
Welcome
God.
back.
All right.
That is the first win is going to be for John. Good game, both of you.
Yep, good game.
Dang, good game.
All right, let me throw up here. Ethan, you lost. Which matchup are you going to take next? Or who are we banning first?
I'll get rid of Beastman again.
Get rid of
Okay.
Beastmen?
So Slanesh.
Alright. Alright, let me think about this one. Oh yeah, no, fuck Chaos Dwarves.
Slanesh versus Khorne, a matchup. These are the two arch rivals. This is a grudge match for sure. We'll see how this goes for both of you guys. I wish you both good luck.
Alright.
Alright. Good luck, John.
Yep, good luck.
Let's see how this goes with Ethan versus John. Let's give them a second to build out their armies. All right, and I am back. So let's see what we got here. Johnny in chat, I made it, only 20 minutes late. What's the score? Right now, Ethan is down 1 point, John is ahead. Let's actually see here. Can we, let's see. Let's see if John might be able to get in on this. Well, John, though, constantly desynced. Poor John. I want John here with me right now. My soul goes out to him. Let's talk about what we got for armies, though. So we got Khorne versus Slanesh. This is a tried and true grudge match between these two guys right here. We have a bunch of Marauders of Khorne, a couple Chaos Warriors with dual weapons. That's kind of an interesting pick here. Marauder of Khorne, or Minotaur of Khorne with great weapon, a Blood Crusher of Khorne, a Skull Crusher of Khorne, a Blood Reaper. It seems like on foot here, and a Herald of Khorne. And we'll start up, and we see this army is a classic from John too. Now, the problem with this matchup is that Slaanesh versus Khorne is all about brute force, strength, durability. Okay, Slaanesh is all about fast moving, armor piercing, get in and get out type uh, armies. Now, in a fight like this, Khorne has an immediate advantage, I would say. Their infantry is just better. Okay, their cavalry is pretty much just better if Khorne can catch them. John has to rely on his superior speed. Don't like the, let's see, Blood Reaper pick, John says. So he doesn't like the Blood Reaper. Let's check out, what is the Blood Reaper again? The Blood Reaper is going to be Ethan's hero. It's an interesting choice for sure, on foot especially, compared to a Juggernaut, which I would much rather have him riding, more as like an assassin type character. Let's see how they're forming up their army. So we got up front with John, Devoted Marauders of Slaanesh in front. We have a Soul Grinder of Slaanesh, a Spawn of Slaanesh, 2 Spawn of Slaanesh. These are going to be interesting. They do have this Soporific Musk, which does debuff enemies, but they don't have any armor piercing. They just have high weapon strength. So we'll see how that goes. How are they going to be able to chunk through Khorne armor? In this army, really, we have Sigvald as a main line holder, the Soul Grinder of Slaanesh, which does have armor piercing, but all of the rest of these units really don't have armor piercing. Besides, of course, these Bringers of Beguilement, Exalted Demonettes of Slaanesh. These guys do have the armor piercing, the magical attacks, and Euphoric, which causes rampage. So we'll see how this all goes. John's going in with his early charge right through. Ethan brought a couple units of Marauders with dual weapons in front. That's a good pick. I really like these guys. They're cost effective, and they do quite well. They got those dual axes. In the back here we have 2 units of, these are Chaos Warriors with dual axes, just heavier units of these Marauders. They're wearing, if we can see, actually here we see 75 more armor, 16 more leadership, just buffs around the board, just less speed. We do have that Blood Reaper right here who acts as kind of like a bit of an assassin character, a duelist, I would say. Ooh, and it looks like we have something going down right now on the Herald of Khorne. What is it? Some kind of, oh, it's like a magic missile, and it does miss against Ethan's Lord. We'll have to see with Ethan's Lord. He has to be careful with it. It is just not built to really go against Sigvald. Sigvald is a world beater. He's got crazy regen. But let's see how this goes. And Ethan charges it straight out front. Okay. Okay, and now he's bringing it back. That was a good play, I would say. He also has these 2 units of crazy heavy cavalry, so we'll have to see how this all goes. It seems like this is just going to be a Lockhorns type match between the 2. What Ethan has to do is bring up his Minotaurs, get in his Lord, use all the buffs possible to try to beat out this middle. While John has to do the exact same thing. He's got to be able to bring some of these units around the back here, do that armor-piercing damage to the rear of these Khorne units, and get them to rout early. Spears units and swords and spawn just aren't really built for this kind of... Oh, and we have a cast going down right here. What do we got? Pit of Shades, of course, one of John's classic picks. Look at this middle right here. So it looks like 1 unit Marauder champions already, Marauders of Khorne with dual weapons are already out of there. We have the Minotaurs coming in, chasing after these devoted units of Slaanesh, and now here comes the cavalry. The cavalry can get amazing rear charges to win. Khorne cavalry is insane when it starts to get going. Alright, and we have this unit, the Princes of Perfection, breaking through this front line. They're going to chase off these Marauders. It looks like Slaanesh is losing to this... What is this? The Herald of Khorne on horseback. It seems like he's just trying to get Slaanesh out of there at this point. Over here, this is a definite win for John. He's able to secure this corner, but he still has to chunk through these Marauders. But this unit of Exalted Demonettes should have this in the bag, especially assisted by that Soul Grinder. Sigvald's going down right here, and there's not much John can do about it. He's running away, but what this Herald of Khorne has is both fire attacks and magical attacks, which cuts through all of Sigvald's defenses. Over here, we have had the Blood Reapers of Khorne. They're going into their Hellblade state, where their blades are now powered up by John's warriors' souls. It looks like the balance bar is already in Ethan's favor right now. Khorne is really pulling ahead in this game. Yep, Johnny. Sigvald is getting wrecked, and I have to say, it's these two guys right here. As we can see, they both have flaming and magical attacks, which is Sigvald's weakness. He is a regenning lord who has flaming attacks, but flaming attacks stop regen. But John might have done a really good thing here. I really like this. He used this unit of devoted Slaanesh warriors to slow down Ethan's infantry. Although Ethan will win in a prolonged fight against these guys, he's going to take a lot of damage, and it's just going to buy Sigvald time to regen. Over here we have the Blood Crushers of Khorne mixed in. Oh, and we just saw a bit of an attack here from this Soul Grinder of Slaanesh. Over here we have a couple units that have to get into the fight, and it looks like Ethan has forgotten about these Marauders too of Khorne. Over here we have the dual weapons coming in. The spears are good, but obviously they cannot hold against Ethan's infantry here, his lords, and especially the dual weapon variants. Yeah, and look at these Blood Reachers. I haven't really taken any damage this game. Ethan has pulled out, and he has now remembered the Minotaurs of Khorne with great weapons. I'd say this battle is for Ethan, just like last battle was for John. It was really quick back and forth. It seems like, oh, but here comes an amazing Pit of Shades right in the middle here. Ah, it's got 2 units of Marauders of Khorne, 3 units of Marauders of Khorne, all within this area, but I still don't think it's enough. Sigvald's being dueled to the death over here, Siggy, and we got the Minotaurs coming in. Look at over here, we have the spears. They're kind of running around the flank. Oh, and it looks like these Skull Crushers of Khorne have started to take a good amount of damage from this Soul Grinder of Slaanesh. More units are running away. And these Demonettes are still around. They're tough to break. I guess it's not over yet for... Oh, but look at Sigvald. John is trying to pull it out, but Ethan has counterpicked John here with his lord. Minotaurs of Khorne are coming in. These guys are just beasts, literally. The Demonettes are really not going to stand a chance here. It's quite funny. John was able to take out Ethan's main with kind of a Norska who he's not the best at, and Ethan, it looks like, is going to take out John's main with a faction that he doesn't consider himself the best at either. It really just shows that even though you can be practicing with an army, it does not mean that that army is going to pull you through. And here we go. A few of John's units are collapsing. This looks like it's pretty much it for Sigvald and John's forces, because these Minotaurs of Khorne, they're still around. These guys are anti-large, armor-piercing with frenzy. They're going to be able to defeat that Soul Grinder, no problem. And that is Sigvald retreating. Kind of a useless spell coming in here. Does a little bit of damage, but you have to remember, too, all Khorne units have spell resistance. And there we go. It looks like Ethan's going to take battle number 2. It's going to come down to a third match, and that's going to be Beastmen versus Chaos Dwarves. We'll have to see that in action.
Oh my god.
All right.
All right.
Look at that. And we are on number 3. Oh my gosh.
Good game, good game.
Good game.
Beastmen versus the Chaos Dwarves.
All right.
Yeah, I wish you guys
The
both...
Marauders of Khorne got more value than the Chaos Warriors of Khorne.
They did pretty good. They did pretty good. But I'll let you guys
Oh,
go right ahead, okay? Good luck, both of you.
All right. Let's do this.
Oh yeah. All right. Yeah. May the best one be the man or something. Whatever the fuck.
Yep.
Beastskin ain't gonna have artillery, ain't gonna out artillery the Chaos Dwarves. You see, here's the thing, Johnny. Okay, the Chaos Dwarf artillery, I would say, it is not good in an artillery versus artillery duel. It really just isn't. They have the magma cannon and they have the Death Shrieker rocket and the mortar. All of those units get stomped by things that are heavy armor piercing single target, something like a Cygor. I would argue that if John brought like 3 Cygors, Ethan would have absolutely no idea what to do in here. Let's look at the chat. We got Ethan's playing My Singing Monsters while we are playing checkers. Wow, okay. I got a Johnny saying Lamau. What did Johnny say earlier? Sigvald's getting wrecked, though. Hard to say. I feel like Scarbrand should have been in here, or Velkia, and not the Blood Reaper. You see, I usually would say the exact same thing, but with the Blood Reaper, you're actually able to take more infantry, right? It's a cheaper lord, and maybe Ethan kind of had that strategy going. Scarbrand can be really nice, but he's a huge target. John needs to charge strat ASAP. Johnny says interesting. So we'll see how this goes here. Let's go over the armies a bit. So what do we got for Chaos Dwarves with Ethan? He's going for, of course, his standard, which is Astrogoth Ironhand, powerful lord who has got, it seems like, Cascading Fire Cloak, Flaming Sword of Ruin, and Hellhammer, a couple units of Bull Centaurs. He's got the Dwarf Warriors with great weapons, the standard units, Hobgoblin Archers, and a couple Gork Laborers on John's side. Minotaurs, of course. John loves this unit, the Butchers of Kelkengard. These Minotaurs with shield that have regen. He loves those units. He's got 2 Poison Warhounds, a Harpy unit, a couple Gores up front, the Chaos Spawn, Morgur as a pick, and we have the Lore of Shadows again. It looks like Ethan will not, or John will not be doing the Cygor strategy. Seems like John is readying up here. Let us put on our screen to omit all stream snipers. All right, and we'll give them a second to go here. All right, and we are back. Yeah, so this is how the army they went with. Look at all these gores here with shields. That's an interesting pick for Beastmen. Usually when you go for Beastmen, you want to go with something fast, hard hitting. You don't really want to mess around with shields. At least that's what I've seen. I don't like the shields as much just because if you're being shot at by Beastmen, you're already pretty much doing something wrong. I feel bad I haven't changed the map for these guys. Oh no. But let's see here. Johnny says, Enamps broke my flawless victory, though, so I'd rather fight John. Equal for sure. Who do you want to kiss more, says Patricia. And Johnny says, equal for sure. 2 strong dudes, Johnny says. They are both scary. Yeah, I think they've both performed really well compared to the first tournament that we did. Here, there is a huge difference in performance, and I'm really impressed by both of these guys. It seems like everyone's really improved with the second game. So Ethan's going for, of course, his front line of Chaos Dwarfs. I would feel like he is going to put his Orc Laborers in front, but we'll see how that goes. On John's side, though, we have all of these heavy-hitting units all back here. It seems like they're clumped together. John will spread these out, I'm sure of that. He has a nice wide front line, and that's going to allow him maybe engage with 2 Gores up front, try to swing around with the other 2 or the heavy-hitting infantry while his Gores kind of hold the front line together. Malagor, or Morgur over here, is a powerful lord, but what Johnny and Ethan maybe both may not realize, again, we have regen, okay? Regen makes it so we have a weakness to fire plus 20%. If we go over to Ethan's side, Ethan's got all of these flaming arrows, and he has Astrogoth Iron Hand, who is the perfect counter again for Morgor. It's going to come down to is these 2 units of Minotaurs and the Bestigor enough to break through Ethan's lines and allow them to get to these archers behind. It may also be, if we look over here in the woods, John has 2 units of Chaos Hounds. Chaos Hounds will not actually win in a fight against most units. They're kind of just a stalling unit. Same with Harpies, but against Hobgoblin Archers, that may be a different story. We also have the two Bull Centaur units with great weapons. These guys are beasts in combat. They do not slow down. They do not stop. They keep it up. Oh, it looks like Ethan's moving his whole force forward here. I wonder what that's about. We also see we have this Bray Shaman with Shadows moving forward with Pit of Shades. Certainly it's going to get a nice target. John has been really good with his spell usage this game. These matches, and pretty much the whole game. We can see right now that these units are trying to come around and get into this back line. We'll see how that goes. Seems like Ethan is still moving up here. What he has to be careful of is making sure that his archers are actually allowed to fire. If they keep moving up, every second that they're moving up is a second they're not firing. So we'll see how this goes. Alright, and it looks like the Orc laborers have engaged. Archers are beginning to fire. But here comes John's infantry, or his quick units. And Ethan, again, is being fooled by this spearman charge right to the face of his stuff. We'll see how this goes. It looks like John is putting a lot of focus on this one. What would this be? For John, it's going to be his left flank. So, oh, and here we go already. Warhounds have engaged. It seems like some Chaos Dwarf infantry is beginning to turn around here. Harpies are going to engage over on this side. First Orc laborers have already given up. Are these Orc laborers? Yep. And here comes down a Pit of Shades. Really nice spell. It's going to be doing a ton of damage. Now, were the archers the correct pick here? I'm not sure. Is Ethan actually going to be able to get value out of them? That's the real question. Ethan has consistently shown that when push comes to shove, he has a really difficult time getting value out of archers. We have over here Bull Centaurs, again, not moving. This is one of the problems that Ethan... Oh, and we have coming down a really nice spell. Oh, these Bestigors, they're going to take the whole hit. Ethan's units take it, but that's about 50% HP from those guys. Oh, if I was a betting man, I would already say this game is going to John. It seems like John has been able to completely overwhelm the front line. Damn, is John going to sweep this one? It looks like he might. It seems like Ethan has forgotten about the cavalry and forgot about the archers in the back line, and without those, that's his main killing power. They're finally starting to come back, but it might be just already too late. Ethan's just not prepared. Gore Shields fighting Astrogoth. That's going to be a battle that Astrogoth can win. Seems like these Dwarf Warriors are engaging. John does not realize that he has a unit of Summon Spawn right here just sitting. Never back down, never what, Patricia says. Ethan's got a great spell off, though. Yeah, he did get a good spell off, but I'm not really sure that's going to be enough for him. There's just too many big units, I think, left, and all of his archers are, well, I guess some of them have begun to come back into the fight, like this one. But it's a question of Ethan, does Ethan remember them? We do have a Cascading Fire Cloak coming down on these guys. It seems like Ethan's putting a lot of presence in these units, but he's kind of forgotten about a lot of his outskirts things, or his things on the outskirts. Warhounds coming in, Gore's coming in, all to face off against Astrogoth. Let's see how it's going over here. It just seems like the Bull Centaurs, they're engaging against these. Oh, a full surround, though. This is going to be disastrous for Ethan. Ethan has once again forgotten about this cavalry unit. Let's see. Dwarf Warriors are just not going to be able to really stand up to Chaos Spawn. But these Chaos Stun have melted. They're not in the fight any longer. These Bestigors have begun to come down. It looks like Ethan has remembered some of his archers, but this Chaos Spawn unit is just ravaging back here. It's just destroying this unit of archers. A lot of John's forces are actually collapsing on this flank. Ethan has to use Astrogoth really effectively to win this battle. That's going to be the question. These Chaos Dwarf Warriors are getting engaged up here. It looks like a cascading fire cloak is going to come down on them. Seems like John does have a few units that are sitting out right now. But I would say this is just John kind of sweeping up. I don't really know how much he can do. Or Ethan can do here. A lot of units are breaking on this end, though. Ooh, and this, it may not be a good fight for John if Ethan realizes Morgor loses in a fight to Astrogoth. What do we have going on over here? Harpies coming in. Chaos Dwarf units. This Chaos Sorcerer is just moving in and out, just trying to get some damage in with the Chariot. I think Ethan might not even realize that he has the advantage with Astrogoth in this fight. But look at this Chaos Dwarf Warrior. 83, and they're just kind of sitting here. We'll see how that goes. Ethan has made Morgor engage some Chaos Warhounds coming in. It still says the balance of power is heavily in. Oh, look at this. Ethan is fighting cheap spearmen in a fight. Yeah, very weird move to put Morgor in the fight there, but we'll see. I don't know if Ethan realizes it, though. You know, and that's going to be the deciding factor. We have some archers running away, Orc Laborers coming back. This is just not the correct fight for Orc Laborers when it comes to Chaos Spawn. Chaos Spawn are just, they're damage dealers, and these Orc Laborers that have nothing. Ooh, let's see how this is going over here. Astrogoth's having to fight the world. We got the great weapons coming in. I think that's going to be it for Ethan. Ethan's going to lose this match, and John is going to be moving on to fight Johnny in the finals. We'll have to see how that goes. I am pretty excited. It ends up being Johnny versus John. Who could have thought? I'm gonna give Johnny maybe like a 10-minute break just to kind of get everything together before facing off against Johnny, and we'll see how this goes. But good job, Ethan. It seems like now Astrogoth's just kind of running around. So, looking back at that, John did a wonderful job of breaking through Ethan's front line and getting around to the archers, that juicy archer core, okay, the underbelly of Ethan's army. Now, on the other hand, Ethan needed to make sure that he was using those units. Those were key players, and they were engaging in poor fights. Those bull centaurs that we saw were engaging against low-level spears, and I bet if we even look at this, we can see 957. This one did not get any value. I'm sure it was forgotten about, but this one right here, 973 gold, that's double the value of how much that unit is. So we got, yeah, it's very true, Patricia. Ethan has improved immensely from the first game. We should all be pretty happy for him. And John. John has also improved immensely. Great job, both you guys. Let's rejoin him here. Good job, John. Good job, Ethan. John is moving on to fight Johnny in the final battle.
The grand finals.
The grand
the
finals.
Potential 6 final battles.
Oh my God. Well,
Yeah.
I'm going to give John, you're going to get a break. I'm getting a break right now. We're going to get 10 minutes on the clock and we'll be back, okay?
All right.
All right.
Good game, Ethan. You were doing good.
Yeah.
Goodbye. I will be right back.
All right. Oh my God! Like that last, that second match, I was like, God, I do not want to play Slanesh into either of these. Let's just run Corn.
You did so good, Ethan.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi.
What up?
Uh, I'm salty.
That was a good match. It really was.
If you poured me into an ocean-sized amount of water that had no salt in it, it would then be as salty as the ocean is currently after I jump in.
Hey, hey,
What's up,
What up,
John?
John?
hey.
So,
Well,
you guys are gonna go up next. Do you
yep,
guys know
the
who you're gonna
great.
ban first?
Honestly, the only thing I know is that I regret putting Slanesh in my army because Slanesh is, or like in my lineup because Slanesh is garbage.
Yeah. Slanesh is cool though. It
Like
can.
Slanesh,
I've seen people go like crazy with it.
yeah, like you can go crazy with it, but it's like, man, they like when I played Slanesh versus Korn, I'm like, how do I win this? Like,
Right.
like I literally like we both just like ram armies into each other, but his are harder to kill.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
What is
Alright,
up, everyone? We are
howdy,
back
howdy.
in action. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so we
Yep.
got John versus Johnny. The two J's are facing off against one another.
JJ.
Yeah, any words? This is the final matches. Here we go. You
Yeah.
guys got any smack talk? I want to keep it clean here.
BM BM.
You know, as the winner of the winners bracket, I just feel really confident. That's the only smack I have.
Dang, okay.
I tried to come up with something. I'm sorry.
Johnny,
You can
Johnny's
smack talk
sitting
me.
over here. Even if John beats him in the first 2 out of 3, he's got to fight him again.
Yep.
John has got to fight Johnny. Guaranteed for John to win. He has to at least win 4 matches in a row against Johnny.
This is like if I'm on the track to win, this is gonna turn into an endurance test.
I know. We'll do 10-minute breaks in between each 2 out of 3. Okay, so depending on if we even need it, maybe Johnny just steamrolls this one.
Bro, I played a grand finals in a Smash Brothers tournament, and I was like winners final, and it was like it was like best of 5 both times, and we played 10 matches.
10 matches.
God.
That sounds awful. So we're not doing that. Maximum 6. If Johnny loses, then maximum 3. So let's see how this goes, guys. Let's start you off. We got Johnny with his Empire, Greenskins, and Corn against John's Slanesh. He's got his Beastmen and Norska. Are you guys ready to call the coin flip? Heads or
Sure.
tails?
I'll take heads.
Alright,
Heads.
I'm a tails kind of guy.
It is heads to start.
Oh, it works every
Alright.
time.
All right, Johnny, what are you banning first?
I think I'm gonna ban. Beastman.
Okay, no Beastman. John?
I'm gonna ban Corn.
No Corn. Johnny, who you fighting?
Okay, between Norska and Slanesh, I think I'll fight Norska.
All right. And John, who are you fighting?
I'll ban Empire.
All right. Well, that's it. It is going to be Greenskins versus Norska. Good luck to both of you guys.
Good
Alright.
luck.
Thank you.
All right, Ethan. What do you? First of all, how are you feeling?
Well, I'm feeling great. I did not end up proceeding to the semifinals, but it's okay.
It's okay. It was a hard
We're all
fought
doing this for
battle.
street cred.
Yeah. Doing it for street cred. That's the truth. You've improved a lot. We saw some really great back and forths, and it looks like these guys are going to be going at it here. So we got to root on both of our friends and see how they perform. So
Yeah.
let's get right into it here. Let's see what we got on the table. So starting with John, Wolfric again on the Mammoth. John loves this strategy. What do you think about Greenskins versus Norska?
Greenskins versus Norska. I don't know. I feel like it's an even match, to be honest with you. But maybe Greenskins have the upper hand because it's probably Johnny. Right. I'm actually still trying to connect to the game. But I definitely
Oh,
game full.
here we go. Give it one more time. I forgot I had to add you in there.
Bruh. Air game full. Will you take me through or was it?
Might have to refresh the page, back out, come back in.
There we go.
All right.
All right.
So
Yeah.
Norska versus Greenskins here. Greenskins got a lot of options compared to Norska. Norska is kind of shoeboxed in, you know. They're kind of, well, boxed in. I don't know where I got shoebox from. But
Smaller box.
yeah, they're even smaller boxed in. But as we can see right away, let me get rid of this commentator tab here. So we have John coming in, Wolfric on a mammoth and a war mammoth. Strong front line and a couple of spearmen compared to Johnny, who's got black orcs in the front line. He has the Arachnarok Spider, which does have anti-large, and a giant river troll hag that has regen and death magic with Grom the Paunch, who's always on a wolf chariot, and he also has regen.
Yeah, this is probably one of the first times we're seeing Johnny actually bring a wizard.
Yeah, Johnny is not a fan of wizards, but we'll see actually how he does it here. Look at how expensive this army is. Are you seeing how on Johnny's side?
Yeah.
It's small and
Yeah.
it's pricey. We look at, really, Johnny's the exact same way. Let me change the map here. Let's go to
Really wants the Arachnarok spider.
Gorgazan. Yeah, the
He does.
Arachnarok Spider, I would say is a good choice here. So with the Arachnarok, he has the option of the anti-large, right? And looking at his army, he's got anti-large there, and then he has 3 units of Biggins, who Biggins, let's start the match, also have anti-large, and he must be assuming that John is going to be bringing war mammoths against him. That must be his first inclination. He also has the black orcs, which do beat, I would say, this Norscan infantry almost hands down. Black orcs are
Okay.
tough, they're heavily armored, and have great armor piercing against Johns, which are more of a low armor damage dealing infantry. They really were going to have a hard time facing off against the Black Orcs. What John has to do is avoid avoid the anti-large with his mammoths, and instead focus that on the Black Orcs. I think that's his only shot of actual victory here.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Those black orcs definitely look mean. I mean, Johnny's
Yeah.
army is, I'd say, about fairly sized, but I don't know. It's a little bit smaller, but at the cost of having way more cost-effective units.
Yeah, and he also has these goblins. These goblins are just going to be there just to slow down John's advance. It's going to be a little bit tough constantly going back and saying John and Johnny and not getting those confused. So
Yeah,
we'll see how many times I
100%.
mess that up. We got 2 spearmen. I'm actually glad that you lost, Ethan. Now you get to commentate with me.
Yeah.
So we got
I wish I won.
we got a front line here of just a couple Marauder champions. He's got, of course, his 2 mammoths. Over on Johnny's side, we have the goblins coming out front. Goblins, they're going to soak up the charge of those Marauder champions and just they're going to get bodied. But while they're dying, Johnny is going to be able to use all of this anti-large infantry. It's going to be really tough for me to go back and forth here.
We'll just do Wolfric and
Yeah, we'll do Norska and Greenskins. Let's see. So look at this. Look how Johnny plays this. All anti-large on this side, all armor piercing on this side. What if I was John, I'd just run straight into this side and ignore this side with all of the anti-large. But we'll see how this works. And he's got Grom here, Grom the Paunch, anti-infantry and regen. And he's always on his little chariot here. He's a big old goblin who ate troll meat. Made himself really fat. We'll see how this goes.
Oh no, so far John's just... I don't think he knows what to do exactly with Wolfric yet. This is a lot of anti-large.
He's looking around. I think he's doing the right thing over here, getting Wolfric engaged on these black orcs. But we'll see. So John does have Johnny has another unit of Black Orcs coming around the side. He has some Biggins approaching over here. Spirit Leech already going down on the War Mammoth, and War Mammoth now is engaging with anti-large infantry. This is going to be a tough one for him.
Yeah.
Here comes a Pit of Shades right on top of the Black Orcs. We
Honestly,
apologize about the lag. I'm
barely
assuming
doing
that's
anything to him.
Johnny's side. Yeah, what John does not want to do is have his Mammoth continually engaged. Look at this. Goblins instantly eradicated. And this Black Orc unit is completely alone. Both of them. If John was smart, he would bring both of his Mammoths over and just take these guys out of the fight early. If we're looking over here, Biggins or Goblins losing this engagement. So the center is getting kind of destroyed. Oh, but here comes the Ragnarok Spider. This is a duel. Giant Spider versus Giant Elephant. So we'll see how that goes. But look at how much that Mammoth damage that guy's taken. Already at half.
Yeah.
John should be engaging with these two units. Get the Mammoth into something where he can actually be assisted by infantry. This is like another Spirit Leech coming down on him. Wolfric coming in to try to assist where he can. But this Mammoth is just getting bullied by the Spider and the Biggins.
From the Punch seems to be doing quite well too.
Around the Paunch, he's just going to be running around and seeing where he can charge in. He's also really good just staying in the fight as a chariot unit, which is kind of crazy. Look at this. Black Orcs actually did come down over here. They're retreating. Watch, that's pretty surprising.
Wow.
And they have
Yeah.
43 leadership. They should be coming back in the fight any second here now. This Mammoth's about to go down with almost doing nothing. Gold value at 500. John's lost out on a ton of value in that unit.
Yeah, there he goes.
And he's retreating here. Grom's getting a nice charge in through the infantry.
Ooh.
Grom is already at 45 kills, and against John's infantry, that really does say a lot. Let's see what the gold value is on him. Oh, no, he's only at 43. And here comes more Spirit Leeches. I don't think John knows exactly how to beat Johnny's infantry here. He's kind of just running back and forth, trying to pick good engagements. I can see Black Orc, and he's retreating from the Black Orcs. Okay. He's got some spears on the Ragnarok now. It looks like the balance of power is starting to enter Johnny's favor with his greenskins. Let's take a look at chat here. I'm so happy not to have to fight ENAPs again, Johnny says. Could have broken me. Sophia says, hello. Patricia says, Nick will win this whole thing. Yeah, I will, just by the commentating game. Yeah, and just a bunch of nonsense. Okay, perfect. These Black Orcs are at half HP, but they're going to be able to just stick in this fight. Look at this 600 value. Not too much yet, but these Marauder champions really can't do anything. Over here we have some spears going against the Biggins. Biggins are going to take that fight. Over on this side, War Mammoth's trying to engage against the Spider. John's trying to bring over everything he can to just slow the Spider down. The Spider is just devastating John. I don't really think John knows what to do against it. Already has 1100 value. Wah is going down, and this Mammoth looks like it's going to be out of the fight here.
Yeah. He doesn't really know what to do with Wolfric. He's gonna send it into some Biggins here. Just give him
Oh, look at that. Mammoth charge is always really cool.
Yeah.
He's trying to get just back and forth, but it looks like Johnny is going to take this with the greenskins, I would have to say. Even though John's got a lot of stuff left on the board, he's lost a War Mammoth, which is 2,000 in value, and this Ragnarok Spider is still running around. Johnny hasn't really even had to use Ground the Paunch this game.
Yeah, I mean, but even then, let's see. Bro, we got 800 in value, so.
Not really that much. I think he's 2,000. Yeah. This Biggin's about to fall. These Black Orcs are doing their best over here. Same with these guys. Here comes down another Spirit Leech. Let's see how much damage that actually does against Wolfric. Not too much. Maybe about
Pickles him.
Yeah, maybe about 400, 500 health. It's these Black Orcs. Johnny has found a strat with the Black Orcs, and I feel like he's just having a hard time giving that up, and it seems to be working for him every single game.
Yeah.
Got a good surround off on these Black Orcs here. Looks like that's going to be the end of them. I just don't know if, even if John is able to take out all of this infantry, what does he have really to fight this Arachnarok? I just don't know. The Arachnarok is just really strong and tanky. And then he still has to beat Grom. Oh, and there comes army losses. It looks like Johnny will take this one. Let's go over. Good game, good game, good game.
All right.
Good game.
Let's
Yep,
see how
good game.
Johnny, you love those Black Orcs.
Yeah, they do work. They do work.
They do. They put in work and they get the bread. All right, John, with you starting here, what are we banning first? Empire, or are we banning Corn?
It's been corn.
No Corn. Empire versus, and then Johnny, you're picking. Who are you fighting with Empire?
It's Beastmen or Slanesh.
Correct.
I think I'll fight Slanesh.
All right,
I'll
so
do
no Beastmen, Slanesh versus Empire. I wish you both good luck, and let's see it.
All right.
All right, so let's see what we got here. John is already down one game, right? So he has to win 2 games in a row to continue this fight against Johnny. What do you think about that, Ethan? Do you think John's got what it takes?
I don't know. I feel like Johnny's just been playing this game a little bit longer than John has.
Yeah,
I
I
think
would
it's
have
really
to
gonna
say so.
be an experience thing.
Yeah, it might be. Yeah. Johnny does have the experience. He's got the time in the game. And I would say,
He just knows how to pick armies. He knows how to build armies quite well, honestly.
yeah, he knows what units are going to get him value, and I think that's one of Johnny's, that's his biggest strength right now. And also, Johnny's been good with micro this whole game.
Yeah, he has. It's been on point.
All right, so looking at Slanesh versus Empire, strengths and weaknesses here. Obviously, the Empire's got range on Slanesh. Slanesh does not have any range to speak of. But Slanesh does have, I would argue, better infantry and more speed than Empire does. We'll have to see how
Yeah.
this goes, but what John's strategy has to be is just get in fast, do as much damage as possible, and turn off those guns. If guns are able to fire at him for the entire game, he's going to lose.
Yeah. I know, and Johnny really knows how to use his missile units. He knows how to keep them away and keep them active.
Yeah, he does. He does. Let's take a look here at their armies. So, looking at John to start, John's got a lot of infantry, and I think that's what he's going to try to do. Go wide, let his artillery and, well, just his artillery and Karl Franz do the work here. When it comes to John, on the other hand, John's going for another. This is his classic Slanesh army. We've seen this so many times now. It looks like the only thing he's changed is he's added this unit of Seekers of Slanesh, or the Seeker Chariots.
Yeah.
Chariots, though.
I
John's
think it
bringing.
could help him get the, wrap around on his missile units. Or
It
on his
could.
artillery.
But they're
If that's
chariots.
his plan.
Chariots are good at charging into infantry and running away, not artillery. And they're not good at dueling anything either. So, in this battle right now, what does John have to catch up to these war wagons? This Black Lions unit of Hellblaster volley guns is amazing. And John really has nothing to get it. The only thing fast I see here that could catch it is going to be the Sorcerer. The Chariot really won't do anything because it's a large target. It's not infantry. And look at all the spears that John brought.
Yeah.
He also has a Life Wizard with both Earth Blood and Regrowth to heal Karl Franz the entire fight.
Wow. Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
I don't know.
Quite a bit.
Looking at this right now, I'm going to have to put it at early predictions. Johnny has this game.
Yeah, but we never know, you know. We've seen Prince Sigvald the Magnificent do some crazy things, so
Yeah,
he might be able to haul ass. I don't know.
it's interesting. In these Spawn, I don't really... It's not that I don't like... I really don't like Spawn to begin with, but at the same time, these guys right here, these Spawn, are just not good against low-tier Spearmen even. These Spearmen cost 300 gold, Spawn cost 1,000. Spawn will lose to Spearmen.
Yeah.
I don't think John's army is really made to beat this type of army from Johnny.
And I don't think that John really knew how to beat anything like this. He had never played any matches with Johnny yet, so he doesn't really know how he plays Empire.
That's exactly right. Look at these first opening rounds coming in at the Sorcerer. It looks like John has done a good job of dodging most of them, but... Oh no, I think they're targeted against
Yeah.
the Soul Grinder.
Missed. Oh yeah, look
Look
at
at this.
that. Oh, that guy is
Half.
dead.
A third. Or no, at half. Look at also the
Oh.
Hellblaster Volley Gun blowing up. John is going to look at this and he's going to be like, I don't know what the heck to do here. If I was
Yeah,
him,
that's-
move the Sorcerer up, try to distract these War Wagons while I get my guy out of here. Look at how much damage they're getting. Oh! He has to move his Sorcerer up to distract.
And that Soul Grinder is done for.
Yep. We have a Pit of Shades going down on the Hellblaster. Now, the Pit of Shades is going to do good damage against the units manning it, but not the actual pieces. All 4 pieces have lived through that battle. Oh, okay, okay. So it looks like John has moved up here. He's going to be able to get the cannon. The cannons are going to be done. Now, is he going to be able to charge in and get this War Wagon and the Hellblaster? That's going to be a different question. What has died? It looks like the
The Soul Grinder.
Soul Grinder has died. Okay. These chariots are coming around. Johnny has already...
Oh man. He's boxed in.
Now, what I do like here... Oh, he has to turn off these Hellblasters. What I would be doing with this Sorcerer is just charging it into this. He has to. It's the only way he has to win this. Okay, he's broken through the Hellblaster Volley Gun. Good charge in from the chariots, getting the rear on these spearmen.
Yeah.
He might even get this. He has to stop this Hellblaster. It is already at 1,200 value, and it's going to continue to increase in value. They are crazy. If I was him, put the chariots, put something on it. You got to stop these guys from firing. But now we've entered a situation where it's a lot of spearmen going up against his large units in here. They're kind of getting mixed up. Chariots are being now targeted by Karl Franz. This front line is going to be toasted here. Sigvald's doing great work just holding 3 units together. John has done a nice job using these chariots. But still this unit of Hellblasters has been able to continue to fire.
Yeah, that thing's got so much ammo, it's not gonna be done for a while.
No, it's not. He has to pull it, or he has to be using something against it. It looks like now the Sorcerer is being engaged by Karl Franz, and the balance bar is completely shifted in Johnny's favor.
Yep.
Sophia says, I think Johnny's going to win. Sophia, I think you are right here. He's coming down with a heal. Looks like the Hellblasters, though, they aren't firing currently. Johnny has got to get those guys firing again. Okay. We have a nice Pit of Shades coming down. Ooh. Now John is focusing on these chariots.
Okay.
But this is good. Okay. Nice. The Sorcerer has come out. Oh, but now it's defenseless. Karl Franz has free reign over it.
Oh, Karl Franz is taking out that wizard.
Seems like John,
Uh,
yeah, John is winning the infantry fight here, but I don't think he realizes that. Oh, he's just realizing now that the sorcerer is being targeted by Karl Franz.
Hell blasters are insane.
They are. They can put in serious work if you don't stop them.
That 1700 in value. 17 now.
Look at this perfect shot that the Hellblaster could be taking right now against these infantry. It's crazy.
Yeah.
There's not really much left John can do. I think still he's got to turn these things off. They've just been firing this whole game, getting tons of value. 1700.
I don't know if those Seekers of Slanesh can stop those big wagons.
They can't. It looks like they're causing them as a roadblock, but they're just not good in dueling it.
Let's get some cinematics on that chariot.
Chariot's done
King
for.
Karl Franz is here.
A lot of the infantry has come, or it has been winning in, or has been in John's favor this game. But now it's down to, does he have enough to beat Karl Franz? And Karl Franz is still at full.
John's making a full push for Karl Franz, but I don't know if it'll work. I don't think so. Those Hellblasters are gonna just blow him down.
Yep, I would say this game is one for Johnny. I think Johnny's going to take this tournament.
Yeah. Johnny's got one more chance in the losers bracket.
No, he doesn't. That's it.
What?
John has
John?
already gone through the losers bracket.
Oh,
He's used
that's
his
right.
one life.
I was thinking it was
This
the
is
other
it.
way around. Yeah. Johnny wins.
And now the true challenge must begin. The commentator must join the fight and enter at the last second to beat Johnny at his own game. Very nice job, I would say, to both of them. I just don't... John just doesn't have the pieces left on the board to take out what Johnny has left. It's like if all I had left were pawns and you had 3 queens. It's just nothing you
Right.
can do.
Yeah. Those Hellblasters, man. Oh my gosh. They didn't even let his soul grinder get a chance. He lost so much value
No,
there.
Yeah. It's most of the value, but I would even argue the Soul Grinder wouldn't have done much in the end anyway with all of the spears that the Soul Grinder was going to have to fight.
Yeah.
And look at this, Hellblaster has begun its fire on Sigvald. Sigvald's going to be trying to dodge these shots. Look at him. No.
Even long range, they're pinpoint accurate.
Sigvald keeps the running. Look at that, he's an Olympian.
Oh, they'll just destroy those Demonettes of Slanesh instead.
It looks like the Demonettes have finally caught up to the horses here, but the War Wagons are just too powerful. They're too tanky, too fast, too much mass. They're just going to run away. And that's going to be it.
Wow, what did these guys end up with as far as value? 2,100 almost.
They have 100% paid for themselves. And this just shows you what superior micro and what understanding your opponent can do, right? Johnny went into this, and this is something that I would do too. You use a overpriced, sometimes overpriced piece like these war wagons, right? And now a player, a certain type of player would understand, like, okay, I need at least a little bit of cav against the Empire. John just didn't really realize what the Empire had at its disposal, or else he would have been bringing more cavalry. I'm almost sure of that. And if he did, even just one, he would have been able to shut this unit down. 2,000 value would have been lost
Yeah.
from Johnny's side, and he would have something to stop Karl Franz, because Karl Franz, he will not stop now. Karl Franz picks his own engagements. There's nothing that John can do here. He can try his best to kind of clump his units together, but I mean, as you saw, Ethan, that's challenging enough, especially not when there's so much infantry on the board. And that's going to be it. Johnny takes the champion. Let's go, or the championship. Let's
Yeah.
go congratulate Johnny and tell John that he did a nice job. Let's see. Johnny takes the win.
Yep, that's that.
That's that, Johnny. You've been now crowned the champion. Brendan has been usurped, and it's you. How do you
Brendan
feel?
got pretty handily usurped.
Yeah, he did. He did get
Nice.
usurped. How do you feel, Johnny, I mean.
You know, I feel great. The main thing is I really just need to see my name on that trophy on the load screen.
You got to get a new one. We're gonna have to make a new one right next to it for the.
Yeah,
Start making a pile.
We will
absolutely. Can
have
you make
to.
it a little bit bigger than Brendan's for me? That's my main thing.
I'll have to. Nice job too on your part, John. I think in the end you just weren't 100% certain what to take against Empire, and I think Johnny.
I've never played
Yeah.
against Empire before in my life.
That's what I thought. When I was seeing your build, I was like, well, he needs cavalry to shut down anything that Johnny really brings here because he's got a lot of fast-moving pistols, guns. He's got Karl Franz up top, and I think you kind of you got beat at the what would you say, the battle screen here at the menu. but-
yeah, that
Go
was
ahead.
rough. And like, I need to figure out how to get my stuff to like move in unison because I saw like I just like looked away for half a second and then all of a sudden my soul grinder's like ahead of everything else, just getting lit up with bullets. I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
why are you there?
Well, I think really nice job, everyone. I guess we'll have to have the next tournament in 4 more years.
Yep.
Johnny will maintain his title for that
When
time.
Total War Warhammer 5 comes out.
It'll be Total Warhammer 7 is out. It's crazy. Johnny,
Yeah.
how do you, I mean, like, I feel like you're already walking. You're 10 feet taller already. I mean, you're going to be crazy.
Oh,
Have you-
absolutely.
Did you grow an inch?
Absolutely. Like, yeah, I'm definitely like I'm as hard as can be right now.
Nice job,
um,
Johnny.
Yeah, that's really the main thing. That's what I'd say.
All right, now it's time for your last opponent here, and that's going to have to be me. So I'm going to have to jump in
Oh
here.
shit! I
Yeah.
just closed out the game, but you know what? I'm ready.
You're ready.
All right. Well, I have people waiting for me to play Portal Dungeons, so it's
Oh,
been
okay.
swell.
Good
Yeah,
job, John.
good
Have a
job.
great
game,
day.
John.
Yeah.
Good
So proud of you.
games.
Did
You were a
great.
worthy opponent, dude.
We'll have to
I
have
def-
another one of these.
I definitely felt like I knew enough about Ethan's stuff that I was like, okay, now I can play against it. Now I kind of get what
Wow.
needs to be brought.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, I would say very nice job, all of you guys. You all did great. Everyone that's not even here right now, everyone, thank you for showing up. We'll have, I think, we aren't going to wait 4 years again for the next one.
No, I do one. Honestly, I do one every DLC, but after this one, obviously.
Yeah, we'll have to take a little bit of time to see exactly. Everyone I think's got some school coming up or got something big going on, so we'll have to wait at least a month or two, and maybe we'll have another one of these. Might have to
Alright,
update the art
good.
too.
Completely
Yeah,
unrelated,
absolutely.
but when are we doing poker night again?
Uh,
Sure.
yeah, hold on one second. Let me mute stream at least. Hold on.